Hey folks, and welcome to CarStarz 10 Wild Facts about Clarence's 2043 OCP 6000 SUX from the 1987 movie Robocop. Fact number 1. There were 3 different vehicles portraying the 6000 SUX in the film. 2 of them were fully functional cars with custom fiberglass bodywork applied to a couple of 1977 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supremes. And the third SUX was a non-functioning fiberglass shell sitting on a fabricated roller chassis built with the intention of being detonated for the shot and blown up SUX scene. Gene Winfield and his team at Gene Winfield Rotting Custom designed and built the somewhat futuristic-looking 6000 SUX. This is actually the same talented group that built the futuristic cars for the 1982 film Blade Runner, as well as all the futuristic cars for the 1989 film Back to the Future 2 later on as well. Fact number 2. What exactly is under that massive fiberglass SUX hood has always been a bit of a mystery to us fans of the film, since we never got to see it opened up. Most have assumed it was just the stock Oldsmobile running gear under there, but if so, which of the several available engines at the time is it? Well, as of just yesterday in fact, we now know for sure what is under the hood of the SUX. The Cutlass-based SUX is powered by its original 350 V8 engine, sending around 170 net horsepower to a 3-speed TH350 automatic transmission. Fact number 3. Obviously, there was never an actual 6000 SUX production car ever made, fortunately. However, if you are one of the few who find this car visually appealing in some way, there are a couple models out there that the SUX borrows some styling cues from that you may be interested in. The rear end of the SUX is most reminiscent of the Citroen CX, and the front end isn't too far off either, so that would be one way to go and probably the most similar looking production sedan made to it out there. Although not a whole lot of CXs were imported into the United States, you can occasionally find some of these still around, and they typically resell for about 10 to 20k today, depending on condition. Another somewhat similar looking contender would be the Rover SD1, as the rear end is pretty close, but the front end is quite different on this one though, and these are even harder to find in the US than a CX anyways. Fact number 4. The origin of the 6000 SUX car model name was used as a satire of GM's Pontiac 6000 sedan model. It was mostly picking on the Pontiac 6000 model by using a coded way of saying that the car sucks. Although not really a bad car at all, as it was reliable, had good gas mileage, and even handled better than most sedans at the time. The Pontiac 6000 was criticized for still having such a boxy style of body design in an age when other brands, such as BMW and Ford, that were beginning to round out the corners of their new model styling, venturing away from the boxy styling age of the early to mid-1980s. So, in that way, the Pontiac 6000 was kind of a dinosaur of sorts, much as the 6000 SUX would be if it were a 2043 model year car, or even a 2023 model year car for that matter, which is why the silly SUX commercial is so perfect for carrying out the joke. Fact number 5. Although many may have missed it, back in 1994, there was actually a short-lived one-season-only live-action Robocop TV series. This was certainly a made-for-kids-focused show, as plots were typically centered around the kids in the show, and it also lacks any real violence that was the focal point in the original movie. From an adult's perspective, it was a pretty corny show, but wasn't too bad. Car enthusiast viewers would mostly see it as more of a Ford Mustang commercial than anything else, which it kind of was to a certain degree. Anyways, the reason I'm talking about this show here is that there are some popular sources online that will tell you that the 6000 SUX was used in a few episodes of the show. However, I'm here to say that that is false, folks. I just went through all 23 episodes of the show for you guys to make sure, and there wasn't a single appearance of the SUX in the entire show. I just wanted to set the record straight on that one. Fact number 6. So, it's late 2023 now, and you're probably thinking that you'll never have to see this not-so-visually appealing car pop up in any mainstream new production of any kind again, right? Well, no such luck. This eyesore of a machine has surfaced yet again in all of its signature hideousness just last month in a new cinematic video game known as Robocop Rogue City. From the looks of it though, it appears to be a great Robocop video game, quite possibly the best one out there. I must say I really wasn't expecting a new, realistic, original-style Robocop game like this to be released at this point in time, but I'd certainly like to try it out sometime. Fact number 7. After filming concluded, the sole surviving 6000 SUX from the film eventually made its way back to Gene's long-standing home/shop out in the deserts of Mojave, California, where the car sat outside for several decades. The scorching desert heat took its toll on the car as nature slowly ate away at the paint and everything else until it eventually looked like this. Then, around the 2018 mark, Gene's group decided it was time to spruce up the old SUX to make it at least look somewhat presentable for fans once again. So they went forward with a partial restoration, which was primarily focused on the exterior and also replacing the shattered rear window. Although the interior and mechanical components didn't get much of any attention, the exterior was repainted and restoring the outside to pretty close to how it looked in the movie, almost anyways. Fact number 8. Then, in summer of 2019, the 6000 SUX was put on display for a time at the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles. As you can see, the exterior isn't looking too bad at this point, still far from perfect, but decent at least. The interior, on the other hand, is still rotting away and looks really rough. It could certainly benefit from a restoration at some point. The SUX is no longer in this museum, but we'll get to where it went after that next. Fact number 9. So where's the SUX today, you ask? Well, after its stay at the museum, it unfortunately went right back to sitting outside at Gene's place out in the open desert once again. The car sat there for another 4 years, restarting the sun damage process all over again, up until just a few months ago when the car was purchased by some interested movie car collectors hailing from France. These are the same folks that run the YouTube channel known as Movie Cars Central, so you can check out their channel to see some of their extensive movie car collection. From a recent video, they have just started working on the SUX and are trying to clean it up enough to be able to start the restoration process. And it doesn't look too fun either, as apparently they took home more than just the car, but also a number of desert spiders as well, so they had to deal with that situation first. It sounds like they're intending on doing a full restoration of the SUX, and from the looks of it, the whole interior will need to be replaced, as the desert heat and its critters have destroyed it. However, surprisingly, they were able to get the engine to run a little bit in the shop and it actually sounds fairly healthy, so they may not have a whole lot of work to do there at least. Although not exactly a popular car, I'm still glad to see the SUX has a bright future ahead of it for once instead of an impending desert death. Stay tuned to their channel to see the progress of the restoration over the coming months, as it should be quite a ride. Fact number 10. As for replicas of the SUX, it probably doesn't surprise you that there really aren't any publicly known replicas of the car that I could find anyways. It really just seems to be the one lonely original SUX out there only. As an extension of the car's general lack of popularity, there also wasn't any past or present scale model kits of the 6000 SUX released either. Worse yet, there aren't even any 4th generation Cutlass sedan model kits to use as a base for a custom build either. As for diecast models, there apparently was one unofficial 1/64 scale 6000 SUX model available at some point, as you can see here. Upon looking into its origin further, although it looks like an off-the-rack mass-produced model, it's actually a custom-made product by an individual creator that sells his modified and custom-packaged diecast creations on eBay under the brand name Dead Ringer Replicas, with an eBay username of SteelSkin01. I thought I'd give him a shout out here, as it looks like he makes some pretty impressive customized 1/64 scale models. Now that I'm aware of his products, don't be too surprised if you start seeing some of these models pop up on my diecast channel in the future. And for those who haven't seen it yet, I have recently created my own diecast car channel named Show and Tell Diecast that I display and detail my diecast models that I now add videos to weekly also. I will include the link to the new channel in the video description below as well for those interested. Well, there you have it folks. Thanks for watching and make sure to hit that subscribe button if you like what you saw here. You guys are all great. See you next time.